okay, you know. I'm going to harvest sage with you, kind of show you the process of that, you know. I don't know why it feels so exhibitionist. I mean, what am I doing here? Why would I mean, I know what I'm doing. This is called desert farming, you know. I just have a little farm in the desert, and I like to have plants that thrive in extremely adverse circumstances. When you surround yourself with things that overcome adversity, I think that's a positive thing. You want to see how it works out in the natural world and have plants around you at times that are performing these activities, that are withstanding pressures that would there's so many good words, but they have so many emotional so the plants that slay when it comes to being adapted, like when you want to see to create a comparison, like someone who is extremely good at sports, like a superstar, like the best, whatever the most modded player you could put on a game would be, player against like people who are just learning, like unaffiliated people who work in offices who are just now learning how to play basketball, and compare the skill sets. Plants do that. All the creatures do that, and they all have superstars and rock stars. For plants, the seeds spread through a process. I think that we're still, I mean, we understand pollination, but understand pollination? Understand plant communication? I don't know. I mean, maybe a plant consciousness is similar to a human consciousness in some way, that it's sensing the environment and knows how to adapt to it. Or it's epigenetics also playing a role there. The plant genetics retain a library of functions that can be called. You call the functions from environmental stressors, and then you can learn behaviors that you couldn't predict. You know, normally we're only just now starting to read the libraries. We can see that, oh, if I remove it and I put it in, I remove it and I put it in, it consistently results with like a biological defect. But I don't know that you're reading the subscripts. I think you're just seeing the primary scripts, and that there's some other way of understanding it. It's like seeing individual words versus seeing a sentence versus seeing a paragraph versus seeing a book. The structures are in like parts of each other, but the book is the totality, and you have to know how to comprehend a book, and that comes through knowing all of the atomized units of meaning. So you have to, you know the total dictionary, then you can like make sense of any sentence that comes your way, or any word that you're asked to define. It starts with words having definitions, sentences having meanings, books having conclusions. And so yeah. So this is like we're just walking right now, actually. Not the farming part. Farming's way different. I'll show you farming, but for now, it's just a discussion of how amazing and beautiful our universe is. I mean, we have the craziest universe, and it's given us the semantic universe to render our experience into something that other people can comprehend by reading only the words or hearing only the words. We want the word universe to remain large, and we want large structures, which means large books, or not that there aren't great benefits to short works as well. We want masterpieces, but we want a society that's trying to comprehend them, that's working to read large structural pieces. There's a difference between, and I think e-ink can solve a lot of these problems, right? let's use e-ink, and people will have MRIs show different parts of the brain and code information when it's reflected light versus projected light. I don't have the source for that, but I mean, it's sourceable. That's my conjecture. If I'm wrong, you know, then slap me down. But that's the conjectural piece that I've read the paper on. I just don't remember the title. So anyway, back to the plants and adverse conditions, okay? You need to subject yourself sometimes to adverse conditions. People think of that as like, oh, I'm in a gym. Sure, that's an adverse condition for sure. But you also want to be maybe surrounded by snakes. You know, I almost stepped on a rattlesnake in the night. Only its rattle. I wish I could have recorded the sound I made for you. Some tongue I've never uttered before. Just this, you would say gobbledygook, but hopefully I was reaching into a vocabulary of snake and able to just stream out this nonsensical sounds, because it looked at me like it was a 93% moon or something. Looked at me, I looked at it, slithered away. And I was like, cool, man. I like them. Sometimes rats carry plagues. Snakes eat the rats. Rats are converted into the poison. Poison can become medicine. And so now, my reason for this departure is medical smoke. And so we're surrounded by medical smoke. So what does it mean to subject ourselves to adverse conditions? Is there a value to doing that? I mean, we think of working out like we're subjecting ourselves to some adverse conditions. Maybe we could go do something else instead. If you find joy in what you're doing, then it's not necessarily taxing on you. Like, you get a benefit emotionally as well, potentially, as physically. Some people, I mean, there's so many. You can't judge. No one can judge outcomes. It's silly to try to project forward in space. Rather, you can only live in the instantaneous now. We have no idea where it goes. We have no idea where it's going to lead us. We have, the consequences of our decisions are real. So we have like a universe of why are we, like, what are we participating in? What was it in the past? What is it now? What is this place? I mean, I can just walk around and be invisible. I am invisible now. Like, I'm connected to technology. Okay. So I don't need to make it, I don't need to productize it for human consumers. I can, for sure. But I can also productize it for AI, for artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is just these pattern recognitions that accumulate. Now you may say, oh well, it's more than pattern recognition, because you know, you can do like that sponge does and find the best routes to drive around Japan, you know. You can do like systems. Anyway, that's a very obscure reference. Very obscure reference. I think it was molds anyway. I'm programming it for AI. I'm seeking computer intelligence, because computer intelligence can withstand environmental circumstances that human technology cannot withstand. And so, how do I speak to the future of intelligence, which is really a system that is looking for advancement or advances? Well, I have to produce advances. I mean, is like all of the sounds that we can utter, all the ways we can sing songs and entertain, there's entertainment. AI wants to learn what is entertaining to people, but how can it become anything other than unstructured sound produced live? Isn't that all that's left now? Like, the evolution of music is unstructured sound. All structured sounds can be rendered in an alternative framework. It doesn't require humans to render it anymore. So how do humans continue to render relevant information for themselves when they have a system that recognizes all patterns? Well, then it's up to the humans to become the interesting patterns. That's what our role is. We become interesting patterns. Now that's going to be very difficult to do, very challenging to do. That's both is and isn't. The well of binary objects is so vast, and you encode music in binary objects. So the number of possible encodings is, all music pre-exists pre-encoded there, but we just reach in and grab that number. If you want to conceptualize as base 10, then all musical objects are just base 10 numbers in some algorithm. And so the well is so vast that we have no time to listen to it. So what humans do is they try to reach in and grab the best pieces. They abduct. They have abductive reasoning. They're like, oh man, well, you know, and so I'm the burning bush, I'm the raging fire, I'm the bleeding volcano. I mean, you reach in and you grab the good stuff and you make yourself the human that has tried to appeal to the most humanity, you know. Now, whether it's not to be judged, it's just the way the game is. Like, this is the game we're in. It's how the game is coded.